What if the four horsemen of the apocalypse were real, and only three of them wanted to end the world? Yeah. East of West doesn't knock. It kicks the damn door down and hands you a doomsday prophecy wrapped in blood, betrayal, and twisted sci-fi magic. This isn't just end-of-the-world fiction. This is the end of everything you thought you knew about it.
Welcome back, agents. You're watching Top Secret Inc., the only comic book channel with a level 10 security clearance and a kill switch for cliches. I'm your host, Thorne Bishop, and today we're diving headfirst into the first volume of one of Image Comics' most brain-melting, genre-defying stories, East of West, Volume 1, The Promise, created by Jonathan Hickman and Nick Dragotta. This isn't just a comic, it's a manifesto, a prophecy, a high-concept alternate history sci-fi western where America's soul is split and death has gone rogue. So let's start off at issue 1. It sets the stage in the year 2064, and there's a big twist. The Civil War never really ended. America didn't unify, it shattered. What we've got now is a United States carved into 7 nations, each with their own politics and their own agendas, and their own sins. Hovering over all of this is the message. This prophetic warning that the world will end, a belief guarded by the chosen, a cabal of world leaders who think that they're shepherding humanity towards its destiny. But here's the kicker. 10 years before the story begins, the chosen betrayed Death. Why? Because Death fell in love and had a mystery son, and suddenly it wasn't playing by their script. Now, he's back, a gunslinger in white, riding across a broken America, and he's got 2 goals. The first, to find his boy, the one that everyone calls the Beast of the Apocalypse, and burn the traitors who crossed him. Meanwhile, the other horsemen, War, Famine, and Conquest, aren't the adults you'd expect. They've been reborn as these terrifying little children, and they're hell-bent on making sure that the apocalypse goes down, with or without death. Now we head towards issue number 2, which shows the fallout of Death's return. Word spreads fast across the 7 nations, and everyone knows that the end is coming. Just not the way they expected. Death kicks things off by storming the Union's White Tower and confronting President Antonia LaVey, one of the chosen. It's ruthless, it's bloody, and it's a warning. Death isn't playing games. Meanwhile, the other 3 horsemen are just doing their own thing, moving believers of the message into positions of power, shaping the political landscape to get the world-ending prophecy back on track. And while all this is happening, we shift focus to Death's son. The chosen have him. They're raising him in isolation, molding him into a beast of the apocalypse. Now, we're not just dealing with vengeance. We're talking about a father trying to save his son's soul before he's twisted into a weapon that ends humanity. Issue 3 takes us to the People's Republic of America. Basically a mosaic dynasty still running things in 2064. And this is where the personal story really takes hold, because this is where Death's wife, Xiaolian, comes from. He believes she's dead, but in this issue, as Death tears through her family looking for answers, we find out that she's alive, and not just alive, but thriving as a powerful leader. And when they finally come face to face for the first time in a decade, it's devastating. She's hardened, changed, scarred by everything that's happened, just like him. What we're seeing here isn't just guns a-blazing. It's a tragic love story at the end of the world. As we step into issue number 4, it starts to dig deeper into Xiaolian's side of things. We see her complicated relationship with her father and sister, who were complicit in betraying Death all those years ago. The political intrigue ramps up because the chosen aren't as united as they look. Their alliance is fragile, held together by fear, ambition, and this is the obsession with the message. And while Death is laser-focused on finding his son, the bigger picture starts to come into play. The Horsemen, the Chosen, Xiaolian's family, and the fate of the 7 nations are all on a collision course. This isn't just about one man's revenge anymore. It's about reshaping the world in fire and blood. Issue 5 is where the whole first volume comes to a head. The truth behind the message, way darker and way more manipulative than anyone realized. The Chosen's grand design isn't just to survive the apocalypse, it's to control it, to weaponize the beast and bend the end of the world to their will. And we finally see the boy at the center of it all, Death's son, being raised in isolation, indoctrined to fulfill the twisted prophecy. So, now you've got Death on one side, tearing through the nations to save his kid, and the Chosen and the Horseman on the other side, all jockeying him to call down. It's a three-way war for the very soul of the apocalypse. And that's where the first arc leaves us. Death is back, the world is unraveling, and the biggest question isn't whether the end is coming, it's who's getting to write it.
Before we dive deeper into the mission, let's pull the files on the key players: heroes, villains, rogues, and wildcard operatives. This is the subject profiles. Death, the Rogue Horseman. A white-haired gunslinger who defies prophecy to find the woman he loves and kill his siblings. Xiaolian, the Iron Widow. Betrayed, mutilated, and reborn as a revolutionary leader. Her silence hides deadly strategy. The Three Young Horsemen, the Reborn Reapers. War, famine, and conquest resurrected as murderous children, hell-bent on fulfilling the message. Ezra Orion, the Blind Prophet. Chosen zealot and twisted visionary, whose devotion to the message borders on madness. President Chamberlain, the Smiling Serpent. Political puppet master, hiding devilish ambition behind charm and southern hospitality. Bell Solomon, the Doubting Disciple. A high-ranking member of the Chosen, torn between belief, power, and morality. Wolf and Crow, the Deadly Duo. Death's cryptic companions. One speaks in riddles, the other strikes like lightning.
Death is the showstopper here. He's not just some supernatural boogeyman. This is the guy who literally walked away from destiny. His story isn't about ending the world, it's about love, vengeance, and rewriting the script. Picture Clint Eastwood in The Unforgiven, but crank the driven level swagger up to like 11. Then you got Xiaolian, and honestly, she might be the most dangerous person in this book. She's the power behind the power, razor sharp, ruthless, and unshaken even after her father disfigures her for defying him. If death is the gun, Xiaolian's the one who's aiming it. Now let's talk about the Chosen, a whole new level of manipulation. President Chamberlain is a snake in a nice suit. Bell Solomon is a priest drowning in his own doubts, and the Three Young Horsemen, they're creepy, nihilistic, and look like kids you'd cross on the street to avoid. But they still could burn the entire world down without even blinking. Jonathan Hickman's writing is dense, but man, it's deliberate. He's not just building a plot, he's building a mythos. There's zero hand holding here. You're either keeping up or you're lost, and Hickman's fine with either outcome. The dialogue swings from sharp and cutting to full-on biblical sermon, which fits the apocalyptic vibe perfectly. Nick Dragotta's art, absolutely the chef's kiss. He's mixing the grit of a Sergio Leone western with the sleekness of high-concept sci-fi. Quiet moments feel paintingly like time stops, and then there's gunfights that hit like an explosion. The panel layouts are pure cinematic, and Frank Martin's colors wrap the whole thing in his own haunting, surreal glow.
They told us not to ask questions. They said the files were corrupted, the intel classified, the case closed. But we kept digging. Welcome to Black Box Theories, where the facts don't add up, the coincidences aren't random, and the truth, buried under layers of denial. Strap in, agent. You're not supposed to hear this. Theory number 1. The message is of alien origin. Classification: classified intel. The message may not be a religious prophecy. It might be extraterrestrial instruction. The message's arrival across different timelines and nations hints at a universal signal or code, not divine revelation. Its cryptic phrasing and obsession with destruction resemble more of an engineered directive, possibly designed to collapse civilizations across multiple planets or realities. Theory number 2. Xiaolian is the true architect of the end. Classification: highly probable. Death's quest may be a smokescreen. Xiaolian could be the one who truly intends to bring the world to its knees. Her strategic silence, political positioning, and brutal endurance all suggest she has deeper motivations. She's one of the few characters who survived mutilation and betrayal without breaking, and her calm demeanor may mask an agenda that rewrites the prophecy on her terms. Theory number 3. Death is not the real horseman of death. Classification: redacted. The figure we know as Death might not be the original horseman at all. His appearance, demeanor, and goals differ wildly from the other horsemen. Where the others pursue the message with fanaticism, Death breaks away and shows human emotions like love and mercy. It's possible he was created, cloned, or possessed by another force that replaced the true Death, explaining his deviation from the prophecy. Theory number 4. The Three Young Horsemen are failed experiments. Classification: classified intel. War, famine, and conquest aren't reborn, they're reprogrammed. Their childlike forms, unsettling behavior, and ritualistic resurrection suggest bioengineering rather than divine reincarnation. Their single-minded devotion to the prophecy could be a result of mental conditioning, implying someone or something is controlling them as weapons. Theory number 5. Bel Solomon will betray the chosen. Classification: likely. Bel Solomon's internal conflict is more than doubt. It's foreshadowing betrayal. Throughout Volume 1, Solomon exhibits discomfort with the chosen's extremism and hesitation in pushing the prophecy forward. His religious role and philosophical restraint suggest he could be the moral fracture point that turns the tide against the prophecy.
Take Blade Runner, mash it with the good, the bad, and the ugly, and sprinkle a little Neon Genesis Evangelion, and you're in the ballpark. It's a cyberpunk western stitched into an alternate history prophecy thriller. This tone is bleak, prophetic, and dripping with tension. But ever so often, Jonathan Hickman drops in one of these moments of brutal beauty that makes you just stop and just stare. This book is loaded with all kinds of meaning. Death becomes the stand-in for love and defiance. Prophecy becomes a metaphor for control. Then you've got technology clashing with tradition, systems built on lies, and the dangerous beauty of someone willing to shatter those systems. And the message? That's just not a prophecy. It's a commentary of how political, religious, and social narratives shape everything that we believe, until someone calls the bluff.
Some intel doesn't belong in the open. When a story gets too twisted, too dangerous, or just too damn weird, we file it under red. This is the Red Files: classified content, high-risk statistics, and the kind of secrets you don't unsee once exposed. Proceed with caution, Agent. Red File number 1, the Seven Nations Reimagined. In this alternate America, the continent is split into 7 distinct nations, including a technocratic Native American empire and a fiercely Maoist republic of New Shanghai. Each is a political powder keg, shaping the fragile balance of power. Red File number 2, the Beast of War. Death Steed Beast is no ordinary horse. It's a biomechanical juggernaut, part living creature and part war machine. Its presence makes every one of Death's arrivals feel like an omen. Red File number 3, the Triple-Threaded Message. The ominous prophecy known as the Message is said to have been penned by 3 different prophets across separate timelines. This layered origin fuels the uncertainty of its true meaning. Red File number 4, Ideologies in Ink. Jonathan Hickman draws each faction from real-world political systems, then overlays them with science fiction flair. The result is a geopolitical chessboard steeped in history and subtext. Red File number 5, a genre fusion. The series blends the grit of spaghetti westerns, the gravity of biblical scripture, and the tension of political thrillers. It's an apocalyptic mashup that feels both timeless and unsettlingly relevant. Red File number 6, Children of the Apocalypse. The rebirth of the Three Horsemen comes through ritualistic child sacrifice, a disturbing inversion of resurrection myths. It cements the tone as both brutal and mythic. Red File number 7, Hickman's Double Front. East of West debuted the very same month Jonathan Hickman launched his Avengers run in 2013. It was a year that proved Hickman could conquer multiple worlds at once.
When East of West dropped in 2013, Image Comics was already in the middle of a high-concept renaissance. Saga, Black Science, the Manhattan Projects. But even then, this book stood out. Hickman tapped into the DNA of American Westerns, biblical prophecy, and dystopian sci-fi, and real-world geopolitics, blending it into something that didn't look or feel like anything else on the shelves. If Saga hooked you in with its scope, and if Sandman memorized you with its mythology, or if a Western pulled you in with its structure, you're going to find something to love here. Critics praised it for its ambition and complexity. Some readers bounced off the dense storytelling, but the ones who stayed, hardcore loyal, it became one of those Image flagship series for a reason.
Welcome to Operation Smokescreen, where the lies unravel and the real story begins. These aren't just plot twists, they're strategic deceptions buried beneath the panels. Hidden motives, double crosses, and narrative ambushes, we expose them all. Classified spoilers ahead, Agent. Let's break the illusion. Smokescreen number 1. Operation Horseman Gone Rogue. Death, one of the 4 horsemen, is not riding with the apocalypse anymore. You expect the horsemen to be unified, destroying the world as prophesied. Instead, Death has gone AWOL, on a mission of personal vengeance. The twist flips biblical expectation. The end of the world isn't being triggered by fate. It's being interrupted by rebellion. Smokescreen number 2, codename Child of Ruin. The prophesied beast of the apocalypse is Death's own child. The world believes this child will bring destruction. The twist? Death doesn't want to kill the child, he wants to rescue him. The prophecy isn't a guide, it's a lie built to control. Death's mission isn't genocide, it's a father trying to rewrite destiny. Smokescreen number 3, the False Witness Directive. The Chosen, a cabal of world leaders, claim to follow the message, but they're editing the prophecy. The twist isn't that the world ends, it's how and who profits. These elites aren't blindly obeying fate, they're twisting the apocalypse into a political weapon. The message isn't divine, it's being used as a script to stage power grabs. Smokescreen number 4, Protocol Resurrection, declassified. The other horsemen, war, famine, and conquest, died and were reborn as children. You expect the 4 to ride as unstoppable adults. The twist? 3 of them are reincarnated, childlike in body but monstrous in intent. Their rebirth isn't weakness, it's design. They come back smarter, meaner, and without empathy. Childhood innocence? Total illusion. Smokescreen number 5. The message was a weapon. The mysterious prophecy known as the message isn't salvation, it's the trigger for annihilation. The message is revered like scripture. But here's the twist, it's not divine. It's been weaponized, written, rewritten, and enforced by those who want to accelerate the apocalypse. Belief becomes control and control becomes execution. The message doesn't save, it enslaves.
All right, agents, intel has been gathered, dossiers reviewed, and it's time to declassify the best of the best. Welcome to the awards segment, where we spotlight the operatives, wild cards, and game-changing moments that made this mission unforgettable. Let's hand out some top secret honors.
Top Operative Award, Death. The horseman who turns his back on the end of the world. Death rewrites destiny with a 6-shooter. In East of West, The Promise, the spotlight doesn't just fall on Death, it follows him. From the moment he steps onto the page, clad in white, cold as steel and burning with a vengeance, Death is the force of the narrative gravity. He doesn't just defy the prophecy, he breaks ranks of his own kind, making him the most dangerous wild card in the world, already teetering on the brink. His journeys through portrayal, love, and cosmic rebellion is laced with quiet emotion and explosive violence. Whether he's gunning down prophets or searching for his imprisoned wife, every move he makes shifts the game. Death isn't just a horseman, he's the whole damn cavalry. Dark Horse Award, Belle Solomon. The reluctant zealot with a conscience. Belle Solomon is the soul buried beneath the apocalypse. While everyone else in the East of West plays their part in the coming to the end, Bel Solomon plays something far more dangerous: doubt. As one of the chosen, he sits at the heart of power, prophecy, and destruction. But unlike his twisted colleagues, Bel shows cracks in the mask. He questions, he hesitates, he thinks. In a world filled with zealots and sociopaths, Bel's quiet resistance and inner turmoil makes him a surprisingly compelling presence. He doesn't just get the action scenes or dramatic monologues, but his slow-burning crisis of faith may come between the key to toppling the entire system. Watching him closely, the storm always starts with a whisper. Spyglass Sequence Award: Death's Showdown at Ezra's Tower. A bullet, a prophecy, and the rebirth of revenge. This scene redefines apocalypse. In the book, full of haunting moments, nothing hits harder than Death's assault on Ezra's Orion's tower. With this biomechanical horse roaring through the blood and fire, Death isn't just delivering vengeance, he's making a statement. The pacing is brutal, the dialogue razor sharp, and the violence poetic. But the truth of power in this sequence lies in what it reveals: Ezra's fanaticism, Death's unstoppable resolve, and the shattering system behind the prophecy itself. It's operatic, it's cinematic, it's myth turned murder, and Death executes Ezra's in cold, calculated fashion. The readers realize this isn't just about justice, it's about breaking the cycle, and the execution is flawless. Alright guys, let's talk about East of West: The Promise. And I'm just gonna say it right up, straight up. This book doesn't hold your hand. There's no gentle warm-up. There's no let's meet the characters scene. Hickman just grabs you by the collar and shoves you straight into the alternate America where the apocalypse isn't just some distant maybe. It's a prophecy. It's inevitable. And the Four Horsemen aren't just creeping metaphors. They're actual people and they're terrifying. Now, here's the cool thing. The strength of this volume is its absolutely insane world building. Hickman is fusing sci-fi, western grit, political dystopia, and straight-up biblical myth, and somehow it doesn't collapse under its own weight. It should be a mess, but it's not. And Nick Dragotta's art, man, this guy's killing it. Sharp lines, eerie scene setups, and the action panels that explode off the page. Every spread feels like it's a daring you to blink and hit harder the next time you look. But then you know what's coming. And this thing is dense, like major. Hickman's not just gonna give you a tour guide. You're just dropping into the middle of alliances, ancient prophecies, and political power games, and it's on you to figure out who's who, why they hate each other, and what's at stake. The story moves in fragments, a scene here, a cryptic conversation there, and then you're piecing together in real time. Oh yeah, that's just gonna frustrate some people. But you might be on page 80 and asking yourself, like, wait, what is this guy even on the same side as the last guy? Really? That said, if you're into complex, connect-the-dots storytellings, then think that maybe like the Black Monday Murders saga or Stephen King's Dark Tower. This is right like in your wheelhouse. It's cerebral, it's layered, and it rewards people who like to go back for a second read to catch the details. And trust me, a reread plays off huge here. Those weird panels you shrugged off the first time, suddenly they just click. That offhand line you ignored, yeah, it was some kind of foreshadowing for later on in the volume. Hickman's not just writing a plot, he's handing out puzzles right in plain sight. In the world of creator-owned comics, East of West comes out swinging. It's not just the tear out your heart emotions of Y: The Last Man or the cultural firepower of Miss Marvel, but it's bringing that rare mythic, that there is a saga energy on every page. And Hickman's track record, well, check this out: House of M, Avengers, The Manhattan Project. It's all stamped all over this thing. Dragotta's just not illustrating it. He's building the atmosphere. The story breathes it. It's kind of a collaboration where you can tell that both of these guys are in 100%. Bottom line, East of West Volume 1 isn't for everyone. It's cold, it's calculated, and yeah, it's gonna confuse you. But if you stick it up, the payout is huge. This is one of the most ambitious, dystopian, epic modern comics has to offer. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. A beautiful kind of chaos that you have to wrestle with. But I'm telling you right now, it's worth the fight. So let me ask you, what do you think? Is Death really the hero? Or just another villain in disguise? Drop your thoughts in the comments, And let's get philosophical down there. And don't forget, if this video blew your mind faster than the message blew up America, hit that like, subscribe, and slam the bell icon like it's the apocalypse. I'm Thorne Bishop, signing off from Top Secret Inc., where the truth is always classified and the end is always near.